Okay, so I made a video about my book not too long ago, and it got a lot of views, like way more than usual. And someone was asking for the plot and more of my book. So that's what I'm here to do. And first of all, thank you guys so much for all of that, and I feel so good with all that support. And so I am not done writing, but I know the first book, is gonna end and it's gonna be a cliffhanger, just FYI. So I gotta hang on. But anyways, so here's some facts and stuff about my book, whether it's like lore, plot, and stuff. My story takes place in a world called Eclipse, where society is divided into 13 castes. 1 is royal, the most powerful, and 13 is the lowest, like laborers and farmers. Your caste basically controls your entire life, what job you can have, where you can go, how much money you make, everything. And you're not really allowed to move between castes unless you're a higher caste in the town you want to go to, or have special permission, which almost never happens. The government has full control over the country, and they're extremely strict. Like, they don't just control laws, they control things like movement and jobs. And eventually, they can control the weather. At the beginning of the story, the king announces something called population control. And basically, they're going to use the weather to kill people. The main character is Lila. She's 13 and she's from a lower caste. She's an 8. She is a dancer to help support her family, and she's really close to her siblings, especially her little sister, who's only 3. A big part of the story is about family, survival, and what happens when everything starts to get taken from you. Because Lila is not just trying to survive, she's trying to protect the people she loves. As the story goes on, it gets worse. There are difficult phases of the population control. At first it's weather, but then it turns to things that I'm not going to talk about because I don't want to spoil. And something starts to happen, stuff doesn't feel random anymore. Like, certain people seem to be targeted, and Lila starts to question if there's a bigger reason behind everything. And at some point, she meets someone connected with the royal family, which makes everything way more complicated. And later on, it shifts from just survival to something bigger, like questioning the system itself and what would it take to fight back. And here's some big themes about my book that some people connect to my life and what I've done. I have a paper that I've written down 7 themes I found in my book. There's probably a lot more that I haven't covered on this. But yeah, so the first one is that power is most dangerous when it feels organized, legal, and natural. 2 is loss doesn't just hurt, it reshapes how people survive. Number 3 is in oppressive systems, victims are targeted to blame themselves. Number 4, when inequality becomes a law, cruelty becomes normal. Number 5, peace is fragile when controlled by fear. That was about false safety, which isn't something that is put in my book, so I guess I'll on that. Number 6 is trust becomes dangerous when survival depends on dangerous truths. And number 7, and by the way, tell me which one definitely is the most deep kind of, what I mean. In a controlled system, choice exists, but consequences are predetermined. So a lot of those, I don't think any of those are best examples of connecting to my life, but there are definitely other themes that do connect to my life. There's a lot of parts in my book that really get thrown into my life. And just be aware, this is book 1. I don't quite know how many, it depends, probably gonna be a trilogy, 3 books, but I'll figure that out. Thank you guys all for watching. I really appreciate your support, and I'm definitely going to be posting more about it. I'm going to try to be editing by the end of this year, and hopefully after editing, I